Hey, Knicks Nation, I hope you're enjoying your weekend, that you and your family are enjoying your weekend, and that you guys are safe and healthy out here in Knicks Nation today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field and those that are the first responders. We even on a day like today, we're here in Florida, where I am, the temperature, the real heat temperature is about 108 degrees, and they're out here trying to save lives today. And those also that pick up garbage for us to keep places clean. And those that make deliveries, even in heat like this, for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue and deliver the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also pornography and child pornography, prostitution and child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on all those who profit from these things, and double curses on those perverts that create the demand from which other perverts provide the supply. Finally, blessings upon the homeless on this hot Sunday in June, the 25th of June, 2023. Nearly 600,000 men, women, and mostly children homeless right now, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Welcome, John Mark, Ribby RM, my man Michael Drake, Jabroni Z, Matumbo, Jose Vasquez, Viz Shop, Superstar, my brother Lonnie Lion of Judah, Shalom, my brother Glenn Costin, Paul Neelys, Guilford, my brother McCormick, how you doing? James Z. Moore, Tomel Lucas, K. Sway, Richard Vance, Coach Hauser. How you doing, Chris Hauser? B. Box, Far, F-A-R, Tony Tippins, my brother Organic. You're going to be at my man's house today. I'm getting ready. Today is going to be about an hour because I'm going to my man's house. Imam Precaution here. I'm going to his house today, hanging out, doing some games. Stephen Acedo, Severe Georgian, Elixir Flow, Terrence Johnson, Woody Woodpecker, Jim Adino, Jay Dizzy Webb, damn Knicks. What a name, damn Knicks. MK, my man, Imad Prakash. All right, bro, I'm going to be over there. Julu, my man, Soldier, Sim, Zay, the mayor. How y'all doing? I'm hoping everybody's well. Felicia Lee, Miss Lee, how you doing today? Shalom to you. I hope everybody's doing well today on this Sunday, June 25th, 2023. Now, just to let y'all know, I probably won't be doing any more videos until at the earliest Thursday or Friday, unless there's a move. We're going to talk about the possible moves coming up until next Sunday when we do the pod, because y'all know that July 1st is Saturday. I may even do something Saturday night, depending on what happens on July 1st. But usually I like to let the reactions calm down a bit, and then we'll come out on Sunday and do something. So we might not do anything else the rest of this week, and we're waiting for some very important dates, which we'll discuss soon. Some very important dates that's coming up for the Knicks. They have Thursday to decide to pick up Deuce McBride's option. At first, I thought it was a no-brainer. They would pick it up, but I'm thinking about something else, and we'll see. They have to the 30th, which is Thursday, to pick up Josh Hart's option, or Josh Hart has to the 30th to decide to opt in or opt out, and that's still undecided at this point. I think that has to do with possible moves that the Knicks are going to make. That's why I'm thinking that they're holding up on that. Josh Hart has agreed to extend the time that's the extend date. So there's a reason for that. Nothing in Knicks Nation happens by accident. So a couple things. I wanted to touch base on a couple of things, Knicks Nation. And I want to use a bit of a parable. So I've recently begun a program in my exercise program of using burpees. Now, I've always admired the burpee and I wanted to use it, but I never could get the technique right. I could never get the technique right. I would always hurt myself in some way, hurt my wrist, hurt my back, do something to hurt myself trying to do it. A combination of me being 60 plus years old, but also bad technique. And that's the key. I had to learn the technique. So I spent years really studying videos on burpees and people doing them different ways. And I figured out my technique problem. And what a lot of people didn't tell me, and what I finally learned, is that some people do the burpee with their knees coming up between their hands, and some people do it with their knees coming outside their hands. And I realized I have to do it with my knees outside my hands. And the reason is because my arms are short compared to my body. I got my father's father, whoever he was, blessed him with short arms. So because of that, I learned that if my arms were longer, I can put my knees between my hands, but trying to put them between my hands hurts my shoulders and my arms because my arms are too short. So then I realized I need to put my knees outside my hands. On top of that, I didn't realize the hitch when you kick out your leg in the squat thrust, the hitch at the end in your hip helps you put your legs back. I didn't realize that. Then finally it all came together a couple weeks ago. And I started doing burpees, and now I'm doing burpees every day and getting a blessing doing the burpees. Well, sometimes then, my point being that slight changes bring big improvements. Sometimes slight changes bring big improvements. So I kind of been thinking about this for a while, but I'm reluctant. I have to admit, I was reluctant to bring it up. And the reason I was reluctant to bring it up because of all your Tibbs haters. See, I don't like to go into rebuke mode with some of y'all. I'm tired, some of y'all get so hard on my coach, and he's my coach because that's my team. And so some of y'all get so hard on my coach, I got to go into rebuke mode on y'all. Like my man MBIC. He seems to daily come with some Tibbs hate. No matter what the subject matter is, my brother MBIC comes back with something related to Tibbs hate. It's like a daily occurrence, right, MBIC? You know I'm telling the truth. If you would have asked him, he wants Tibbs fired. But he's just one. There's a lot of people like that. And so I don't want to have to go into rebuke mode on Tibbs. So I'm reluctant to criticize anything he does because some of y'all use that as an excuse to jump all over Tibbs' anal. You use that to break down homie's backside. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right. I don't like it. Just being honest with you. But today, he know he own it because me and him, I'll be like, okay, so we got our daily Tibbs hate off today. That's what I'll be doing. So we got our daily Tibbs hate off today. And then I move on. So he know. That's why I know I can say that to him because he knows the truth. I'm not lying about him. Okay, it's like saying Gumby is the captain of Julius Randle High. I mean, Gumby admits that, right? I'm not making that up. I'm not breaking on Gumby. He's Julius Randle High like president. You know what I'm saying? That's him. All right. So if I said that, he probably like it because he know I'm telling the truth. All right. I brought that up to say, look here. The Knicks could really run it back and be a 55-win team. Why do I say that? Slight changes would make this happen. Slight changes would make this happen. What slight changes? And I think a lot of y'all are going to agree with what I'm saying. Some of y'all been already saying it, but again, I was trying to hold off on y'all because y'all get me into rebuke mode with your Tibbs hate. I don't hate Tibbs. I think Tibbs is an excellent coach. I think he actually already. Let's not say he could, because if you want to be honest and real about it, a team that won 29, 17, and 21 games before Tibbs got here has turned to 41, 37, and 47. That has been turned around. That's a turnaround right there. That's classic turnaround. Okay? If you want to deny that, you can stay in denial, but that's a classic turnaround. And I think that he can continue to get more out of it, but there's some slight changes that will bring big dividends. Number one, he needs to expand to a 10-man rotation. He's been 9-man for a long time. And when I say 10-man, I mean all 10 guys getting at least 10 minutes a game. That he needs to expand to a 10-man rotation. Very slight change. So instead of Deuce getting 8 and 5 minutes and 30 seconds, he needs to get 12 minutes at least. Okay. 10-man rotation. Number 2, he needs to reduce Julius's and RJ's minutes so that Obi can get 20 to 24 minutes a game. Very slight. So like put it this, let's use the pure numbers of this. There's 48 minutes for each position on the floor. Okay, there's 48 minutes for each position on the floor, a total of 240 minutes for the game, for all the players that are in the game. Okay, the total minutes is 240. So there's 48 minutes for the small forward spot, 48 minutes for the power forward spot. If you gave Obi 12 of those minutes for each spot, in other words, you gave him 12 minutes at the small forward spot, and you gave him another 12 minutes at the power forward spot. That don't sound like a lot. Basically, what you're saying is 6 minutes a quarter. It would make Obi more productive. It would make Obi happy, and it would make the Knicks win more basketball games. Slight changes, okay? Slight changes will get this done. That's not, you're not having to sign nobody else. You're not having to trade nobody. That's just slight changes that I feel would bring big dividends. So you give Obi 12 minutes at the small forward, you give him 12 minutes at the power forward, or whatever. I'm using very even numbers, but whatever combination you did, it gets him 24 minutes on the basketball floor. Okay? And that would help everybody. You get Deuce into the rotation on a permanent basis. If you recall, when the Knicks went on their first 8-game winning streak this past season, it happened when they removed Fournier and DRose from the rotation. This is before they got Josh Hart. And they put Deuce McBride in the rotation. And they won 8 straight. Y'all remember that? That's facts. I'm not theorizing. I'm not trying to say what might happen. This happened. They took DRose and Fournier out of the rotation, and they replaced them with Deuce McBride in the rotation, and they went from losing to Dallas at a crazy game the night before to Cleveland, where they went on an 8-game winning streak. That's right. Cam was out too, and they put Deuce McBride in there, and it was an 8-game winning streak. Okay. So to me, and I think if you look at the stats, even just looking at the stats on Basketball Reference, Deuce is a positive. Deuce, there's 2 guys that are pretty much always positive, with most of the lineups they're in. Not everyone, but most of them. That's IQ and Deuce. No matter what lineups you put these 2 cats in, they're going to be positive. And then the next one is Grimes. If you look statistically at their plus minus and the different lineups they're in, most of the lineups they're in are positive. That means they score more than their opponents. So with IQ, Deuce, and Grimes, to me, and 3 guys that you drafted, you want to keep these kids, especially Grimes and Deuce, because of the cost. Now, you're getting ready to try to pay some money for IQ. I get it. But what really threw the Knicks off a little bit, and I'll be honest with you, it helped, but it threw them off a little bit, was the acquisition of Josh Hart. Josh Hart took Deuce's place in the rotation. And at first, he was all gung-ho and everything was good, very good. But came to the playoffs, if y'all are paying attention, he had trouble guarding Jimmy Butler. And then I said, okay, put him on Lowry. He had trouble guarding Lowry. This is Josh Hart, who generally is a good defender. Grimes had no problem guarding either one. The problem was Grimes couldn't guard 2 of them at the same time. Okay, that's the truth. So slight differences, slight changes, getting Obi on the floor more, getting a 10-man rotation and bringing Deuce into that rotation. Especially, I would say Deuce would be your main backup to Brunson. Brunson's going to play 38 minutes a game. He's going to play 35 minutes, but you can't do that to him all the time because he'll break down because he plays very physical playing the ball. So you play him 36 and you give Deuce 14. IQ usually should be backing up Grimes, and And Josh Hart should be backing up RJ when Obi's at the 4. That'll work. So to me, I'm wondering, one thing I'm wondering is if there's a conversation to be had between Tibbs and his staff and Leon Rose. Because one thing I felt that I kind of lost hope in, I admit it, is I felt like because Obi was Leon's first draft pick as president of basketball operations, that Obi holds like a special place with Leon because that was his first pick. And I remember, I don't know if any of y'all remember the night that Obi got drafted by the Knicks number 8 overall. Leon was very animated. Do y'all remember that? He was animated in that green room. He was excited about getting Obi Toppin. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I remember he was excited about getting Obi Toppin. So Obi was his first draft pick. And one thing I got to say about Leon, he's cheap. We all know that. But he's also loyal. That's why everybody was thinking about whether he would get CP3 because he has a long-term relationship with CP3. So he's cheap and he's also loyal. Okay. And I like that about him. And he keeps everything close to the vest. Don't let nobody know what's going on. All right. And that's all good. So I got to start. I wanted Halliburton too, John Mark. I ain't going to front. But I like the fact I liked Obi Toppin. I did not like him as much as my two guys was DiVincenzo and Tyrese Halliburton. Those are my two guys at the top of the board for me that year. It was DiVincenzo and Tyrese Halliburton. And then I like Pat Williams as well. Actually, Obi wasn't even he was like 4th or 5th on my chart. But I wasn't sad that they drafted him. He's from New York, loves the Knicks. Athletic is all. And I thought, okay, if they're trading Randall, this would be a good guy to develop. That's what I thought at the time. But now, Randall is here. Okay. Now, this is where these Thursday and Friday comes in. Now, first of all, Derrick Rose is, they didn't exercise the option on Derrick Rose. And I've been telling y'all that. Right? I think I've been telling you. Some of y'all was coming to me saying, well, they can use the salary in the trade. And you convinced me to believe, yeah, they could. But my heart, my gut was telling me they're going to let that go. That they're going to drop that. So they dropped it. They had $172 million was their salary. Now, by letting Rose's salary drop, and I told y'all this before, it goes down to 156. Okay, 156. And if they wanted to drop Roby, and there was another guy that's got $2 million. They can get down to 152, which I think they're going to do. Okay. So I don't think, you know what? And this is the thing. I don't think they're going to use the $12 million mid-level exception. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't think they will. And the reason I'm saying that, at least on a player like some of y'all talking about Donte DiVincenzo, right? Some of y'all like Donte DiVincenzo. A lot of y'all tripping about Naz Reid. But what you not doing, what none of y'all that are tripping like this over these players are doing, is you not telling me who's coming out of the rotation. You see, I don't want Donte stealing minutes from Deuce. He's not going to steal minutes from Emmanuel Quickly. And he's not going to steal minutes from Josh Hart. Do y'all understand that? That's not going to happen. I don't care how many fans he has in the Knicks, according to Ian Begley. But he's not taking minutes from those guys. The only way you get a Donte DiVincenzo or Naz Reid on your team is if you're trading somebody that's now in your rotation. And I've heard some poor drunken fools talk about trading Mitch Rob, and y'all need to leave that Wild Irish Rose alone. You need to leave that Thunderbird alone. Because no, Roz Reed is not better than Mitchell Robinson. Okay? So, and MBIC, I ain't going to front. I agree with you. But to convince everybody of that at this point, we know is moot. That's not going to happen. He's a Villanova guy. He just said, NBIC just said, they're making too much of a priority out of Josh Hart. And I 100% agree. 100% I agree with that. 100%. But at this point, with the way he has performed coming off the Knicks bench, with coming in there as a Villanova guy close to their star point guard, Jalen Brunson, come on, you know he's going to be back. Okay, you know he's going to be back. Now, which brings me to his contract. Now that we're talking about him, right? Look, if he was to opt in to his $12.9 million, that would help the Knicks a lot, because now you don't have to have any increase in salary from your $152 million. Okay, so you got still 152. And let me tell you something. If you don't know anything about Leon Rose, one thing you should know: the dude is cost conscious. Okay, the dude is cost conscious. He really is. Okay, he really is cost conscious. So he's gonna like to be under that luxury tax number of $165 million. He's gonna want to be under there. Now, we're talking about a Paul George. And I heard some knucklehead. I didn't even listen to it. I saw it on a video title and I was like, I can't even listen to this. They are not going to trade Julius Randle for Paul George. They are not going to do that. Okay? They're just not going to do that. Y'all hear me? And I'm all for a Julius Randle trade, but that ain't it. They're not going to do that. Why? Let's explain for those that may not understand. Y'all ready? Julius Randle is available. Paul George is not. Do you understand? Julius Randle is available. Paul George is not. Julius Randle is going to cost you $28 million this year because he made All-NBA. On top of his 25, he's going to get another $2 or $3 million. So he's going to be somewhere in the $28 million range. Paul George is going to cost you over $40 million. Julius Randle's going to, let's be conservative about it. Julius Randle's going to play at least 70 games. Paul George is probably, you're lucky if you can get 55 games out of him. So, yeah. I would get Paul George as a rental, but he's going to cost me too much. Y'all understand? If I'm Leon Rose, I got to get pushed by Dolan to do something with Paul George. And that's why I think this is a Dolan move right here. Because if I am, thanks Lewis Luck for $10, Randall has what? But he's younger, plays very game. That's right. A 2-time All-Star, great contract. That's what I'm saying. Lewis Luck said it. You got to get something at least. This, again, let's go back to this value thing that we've always been talking about. Leon Rose is into value. Value. Okay. Julius Randle represents value. He's a knucklehead sometimes. He's got a horrible attitude. He is not a leader of men. He is not. And you never know what you're going to mentally get. Somebody can easily get in his head. But dude, when he comes to play, he can play. I don't think nobody can deny that. The issues with Julius is mental. We always been saying that, and it's true. It's not right. And look, I'm going to tell y'all, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. You're going to get Julius, as long as he's a Knick, he's always going to be our problem child. Families have problem children. And he's going to be our problem child. He's going to be our problem child. Okay, it just is what it is, y'all. Okay, he's going to be our problem child. So you got to deal with that. He's in his prime right now. But you know what? What happens for every game you get where he gets, he's jumping in IQ's face in Orlando, you get a game where he's dropping 57 on your boy Nas Reed. Did y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Went into Minnesota and made Nas Reed look like he was a boy playing against a grown behind man. Do y'all remember that? Some of y'all yelling for Nas Reed. Do you remember that? How many threes did he drop on that boy's head? How many threes did he drop on that boy's head? Was it like 5, 7? I don't remember. So no, don't play, man. Come on, you got to get at least equal value. Now, in my view, Siakam and KP, even though KP plays less games, y'all see it. No, wait, some of y'all whining about KP, see how Boston got him, and some of the same people whining about KP is like, man, maybe we should have got him. Because now you see what Boston looking like, and I told y'all. But anyway, you want something of equal value. Something close to equal value. Siakam, to me, y'all don't see it, but I like Jeremy Grant. I like him. Bridges brings at least as much, is not more to the Knicks than Julius. That's what I'm saying. Guys like that. But yeah, Super Prince, maybe you missed the memo. You got to trade somebody to get Donte DiVincenzo. And ain't nobody on the Knicks roster I'm trading to get Donte DiVincenzo. There's nobody. I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm not doing it. Who are you trading? Stop. Let me please admonish you, Knicks Nation. Love y'all, but stop throwing out names. We just throw out names. This ain't NBA 2K. You don't just throw a dart at the board of the name and say, okay, he's rated this on NBA 2K. Let's go get him. No, he's not coming as a free agent. You don't understand. You have a 9-man rotation. You must replace somebody in that rotation to bring this player to get minutes. Otherwise, he has no place to play. Okay, that's the point. It's not the money. He can't play with his 9 people ahead of him. Oh my gosh. Anyway, please understand, Knicks Nation. Right. That's what I'm saying. So, and even if you add a 10th guy, there's no way in hell I'm going to have Deuce McBride, who's been biding his time for now his 3rd year, waiting behind some new cat. I'm not doing it. They already did that with Josh Hart. He had 8 threes in that game. Okay. He had 8 threes in that game. So all y'all whining about Nas Reed need to go look at that Knicks Minnesota game. Y'all need to go look at that and remind yourself, just like all of these other fools talking about trade Mitch for DeAndre Ayton, go look at the head-up games that they played. Go look at the games that Phoenix played against the Knicks with Ayton on one side and Mitch Rob on the other. Mitch Rob treated that boy like he was the bully on the playground, and Mitch Rob took his lunch money. That's what that looked like. Okay, y'all need to calm down. Shoot. Yeah, what I'm saying is, listen carefully, especially Super, who don't seem to, you're just not getting it. But if the Knicks were to trade Emmanuel quickly, then there's a possibility for a Donte DiVincenzo. Okay? Now, then that means you have to ask yourself a question. Do you want the Knicks to trade Emmanuel quickly, or would you rather Emmanuel quickly accept the extension? That's the question you got to ask yourself, Knicks Nation. Would you want the Knicks to trade Emmanuel quickly so they can get Donte DiVincenzo? Is that what you want? Because that's the only way it's going to happen. That's what I'm saying. I'm keeping IQ. I'm sorry. I'm keeping IQ. No doubt. No doubt. IQ is the better ball player. And I'm not trying to knock Donte DiVincenzo. He's a good ball player. But we got IQ. You know, we got IQ. So if IQ decides to leave, all right, then we could talk about your boy Donte. Because he'd be a nice, he could fit right in. But I am not trading IQ if I can help it. Now, that brings me to another small thing that could be significant. I put the link in the description box. No, Donte is 6'4", Carrillo. Dude, no, he's not 6'8". He's 6'4". Donte DiVincenzo is all of 6'4", and that'd be another 6'4" dude. No, wait. What? Corey Douglas? Are you crazy? All right, so wait. You trade McBride and Obi for DiVincenzo? Dude, stop it. So you giving up a starting power forward, because that's what Obi is, and one of the best two best perimeter defenders on your Knicks for Donte DiVincenzo. Why? And that reminds me of this draft thing. Some of y'all really, you know what y'all like? Let me tell you what y'all like. You know what y'all like? You ever been, if you had your parents, you're blessed enough to have your parents. I didn't have my mom there, but my father was there. And where you going? It's Friday. Where you going? Pop, I'm going to this party. No, you ain't. Well, why not? All my friends are going. You ain't everybody. And I'd be like, why can't I go? And I ain't say it too loud because Pop sometimes didn't answer with his mouth. But he would tell me, because you ain't everybody. You ain't going. Right? So the draft. Everybody's drafting. Everybody's moving. Why ain't we in there? You know why? Because we ain't everybody. Stop whining. Why? I can't believe they didn't get in the first round. We ain't everybody. We the New York Knicks. Stop whining. Stop whining. We the New York Knicks. We just finished 5th in the East. Stop whining. You understand? We ain't everybody. You should have heard, man. Why ain't they in? I can't believe they didn't get in. Why didn't they buy a pick? They should have traded somebody to buy a pick. I was hurt, but I had to say the truth that I thought they were going to trade Obi. I was really scared they were going to trade Obi, but I told y'all I think there's 90% chance they trade Obi tonight because I thought they would trade him for a first-round pick. But the Don, I love this dude. See, so y'all want to get on my back? Stop talking negative about the Don, man. I'm the one gave him that nickname. Y'all remember that? He's Corleone. I love this dude, man. Corleone, man. This ain't Scotty Sterling. This ain't Glenn Grunwald. This ain't Phil Jackson. This the Don. My man. And he kept Obi, baby. Y'all should be happy about that. Very happy about that. I know I am. That's right. I'm happy about that. I was like, dog, he didn't do it. He hung on to Obi. You know, so unless there's a player that can clearly take the Knicks to the next level. And to be honest, like I said, there's not that many. All right, I'll give some of y'all really don't like me mentioning Jeremy Grant. Okay, take Jeremy Grant off the table. But let me ask you all this question. If you replaced R.J. Barrett with Pascal Siakam, are the Knicks a better team? Listen to me now. If you replaced R.J. Barrett with Pascal Siakam, are the Knicks a better team? Yes, they're better, right? All right. If you replaced R.J. Barrett, and I love Barrett, don't get me wrong now. I'm not trying to trade R.J., but listen to me up. If you replaced R.J. Barrett with the pogo stick, with what's the boy's name? Zach LaVine. If you replace R.J. Barrett with Zach LaVine, so you got, instead of R.J., you got Grimes and Zach LaVine out there. Are the Knicks a better basketball team? Don't look at this as your poster guy. I'm saying, are they a better basketball team? If you replace R.J. Barrett with Zach LaVine, are the Knicks a better? Do they win more games? That's the real question I'm asking. In fact, let me do a poll on that because this is the question you got to ask. Okay? All right, that's the question you got to ask. Here it is. There's the question you got to ask. That's the question. If RJ is replaced with LaVine, do they win more basketball games? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Okay? Do they win more games? And if the answer is no, you don't make the move. It's not hard to, if the answer is no, you don't make the moves. Okay? If the answer is yes, you got to look into it. Okay? All right. Here's another question. Here's another poll. Here's another one. Here's another one. If RJ is replaced by Paul George, say PG, y'all know PG-13, do they win more games? That's the question. Here's a question. If RJ is replaced by Paul George, do they win more basketball games? Do they win more games if RJ is replaced by Paul George? That's what you got to ask yourself. The question. And the answer, that's the answer to that tells you what direction you should go. So if you're Leon and you're Leon's front office and you guys are discussing player X, it doesn't matter who that player is, but you're going to replace somebody with player X. So are the Knicks a better basketball team in that replacement scenario? Because if you're talking about Paul George or you're talking about Zach LaVine, you're talking about replacing RJ. They both play RJ's position. So you're talking about replacing RJ. So you got to ask yourself, is Paul George is obviously the better basketball player. There is no doubt. Paul George has been all NBA defense, all-star. He has got the pedigree. He's better. But you all know, and I know, he's not reliably healthy, right? So I guess really what it comes down to it is this. Are you ready? If the Knicks were to trade RJ Barrett and I wouldn't trade, I'm going to tell you what, if we traded RJ, they're getting RJ and they're getting Fournier, and that's it. I'm not sending Obi out there. I'm not sending IQ out there. But if you were to make that trade, let me ask you this question. Is 56 games plus playoffs, hopefully, of Paul George better than 77 games plus playoffs of RJ? You hear it? Is 56 games plus playoffs of Paul George better for the Knicks than 77 games plus playoffs of RJ? See, that's the question. And see, this is what I'm saying. Some of y'all, yes, some of y'all no. And that's the question that makes this very difficult to answer. And look here, if it's not decisive, you don't do it. You understand what I'm saying? If it's not decisive, you don't do it. You see what I'm saying? You don't do it. You don't do it. That's right. But you don't do that. Okay, put that in the poll. Okay. All right. Let me adjust the poll. Let me adjust it. Because that's the question you're really asking. And I'm going to ask you some more questions in a second, but that's the question. Would 56 games of PG-13 be better than 77 games of RJ? That's the question you got to ask yourself. With 56 games of PG-13, because that's what you get, be better than 77 games of RJ? That's the question you got to ask. And let me tell you, unless this is a slam dunk, see, most of y'all saying no, right? And if it was even 53-47, I would say don't do it. That's not decisive enough for me to say do it. No, don't do it. Y'all follow what I'm saying? That's why I brought it up. I didn't bring it up to say I want to trade RJ. I'm bringing it up to say that's why you don't do it. Lewis, look, thanks for the follow. Knicks got to the second round and are positioned to be perennial playoff team, and their top players are making over $30 million a year. That's right. That's right. So the answer is no from 50 votes already. So I'm telling you, you don't look at that guy then. You back up because you don't know this guy's not better. Now, wait, we're not finished yet. You ready? Let's talk about Julius Randle. Now, in all Julius Randle trade conversations, I have a caveat. Are you ready? I have a caveat. In all Julius Randle trade conversations, I have a caveat. This is my caveat. If we're trading Julius, we're not trading Obi. Okay? We're not trading Obi. Okay. If we're trading Julius, we're not trading Obi. That's the caveat. Okay? So I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. Would the Knicks be better? Would the Knicks win more if Jew, and I'm going to say Jew, y'all know I'm talking about Julius Randle, was replaced with, I'm gonna say, here you go. Here you go. What do y'all think? Would the Knicks win more? Would they win more basketball games if Julius Randle was replaced with Pascal Siakam? Let me see. No, he didn't yet, John Mark. Thanks for the $5. Let me tell you what the date is. I'm gonna tell you what the date is on that right now. I'll tell you the date on that right now. And we keep getting mixed signals from the news media about Dame, man. We don't know what the heck is going on. Does he want to stay or does he want to go? I don't even know. All right, so let's see. Jeremy Grant. It's not saying anything. You see. They don't have, what is this now? Oh, here he is. All right, hang on. So Jeremy Grant, we know is an unrestricted free agent. No, they got till July 1st. Jeremy Grant is an unrestricted free agent on July 1st. Okay. Jeremy Grant's unrestricted on July 1st. John Mark. He didn't do anything. It's not an option. He's straight unrestricted free agent, John Mark. He's not an option year guy. His contract is not whether to opt in or out. He's out. It's just a question if they're going to re-sign him. That's the question. He's unrestricted. He could talk to any team he wants. And that's where it is right now. But because Portland has his bird rights, they can offer him an extra year that nobody else can. That's the key with Jeremy Grant. So Portland can offer him a 5th year, whereas nobody else can offer him more than 4 years. Okay. Y'all got that? You got that, John? So, all right. So it looks like with 85 votes, the Knicks would be better. They'd win more if Julius was replaced with Siakam. I have to agree with that. Okay. I have to agree with that. What about, all right, here's another difficult one. Are you ready? Here's a difficult one. Here you go. All right, here's one. You ready? Here we go. So would the Knicks win more if Randle was replaced with OG Anunoby? Would the Knicks win more if Randle was replaced with OG Anunoby? So if you sent Randle to Toronto, and you put OG Anunoby back to the Knicks, so now you have the two Canadians. Would they be better? Would they win more games? So 52% is close. It's close. It's very close. So again, because it's close, it's not decisive, right? What does that mean? Leave it alone. Would leave it alone, right? So look at this. It's 48-52. You leave it alone. You don't even do it. You leave it alone. You hear what I'm saying? You leave that alone. Why? Because it's too close. You're not sure. Well, everybody is sure that the Knicks would be better, win more basketball games with Pascal Siakam. That means if you're going to deal with Toronto, you're looking for Siakam. If you can't get Siakam, bye. Y'all following me? You can't get Siakam, bye. All right? Here's another one. You ready? Would the Knicks win more if Randle was replaced by all right, here you go. Would the Knicks win more if Randle was replaced by Jeremy Grant? Would the Knicks win more basketball games if Julius Randle was replaced, again, you're keeping Obi. So if Julius Randle was replaced with Jeremy Grant, would they win more basketball games? Would they be a better basketball team? So far, there's 58 votes. Ooh, it's close. Very close. Very close. So guess what? That's another one you leave alone. According to what y'all saying, that's another one we leave alone. Michael Drake, I will not trade for Damian Lillard. That's a waste of time, a waste of money, a losing proposition. I would not trade for Damian Lillard. All right. Under one circumstance would I trade for Damian Lillard. I'd have to be trading Jalen Brunson. So the question would be, would you trade Jalen Brunson to get Damian Lillard? Because I wouldn't. That's the only way. Because if you're telling me you're going to start Brunson in the backcourt with Lillard, what's the difference between that and Lillard and McConnell, CJ McConnell? What's the difference between that and Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, who the Knicks beat in 5 games? You understand? So why? So don't get caught up in the name, okay? Because you can't just put any 2 players together and think it's going to work. It doesn't. It doesn't. So now I wouldn't trade for Damian Lillard. And I'm not trading Jalen Brunson. So, yeah. It's irrelevant, D. Cesar. Anthony DeCesar says, what will we get? I don't care because I'm not trading Brunson for Damian Lillard. I don't even want to discuss that. It's not even worth entertaining. It's not even worth the brain power to entertain. Please don't waste your time with fantasy basketball. It doesn't work. It's not real. Well, Ron McSeventy1 makes a good point. I'm telling you right now, I'm not even going to ask y'all this one. If I sent RJ down to New Orleans and I was able to get back Brandon Ingram, the Knicks would win more basketball games. I'm not even asking y'all about that one. If we sent RJ Barrett to New Orleans and got back Brandon Ingram, the Knicks would win a lot more basketball games. I'm just telling you, they would. Brandon Ingram is way better, way better. 6'8", length. No, they win better. Defense, they're better. Okay. Well, New Orleans is not doing that. That's the key. It's not even whether the Knicks want to do it. The reason it would never happen is because New Orleans would never do that. They wouldn't do it. New Orleans ain't doing it. Okay. It is not going to happen. So that's what I'm saying. But if you're talking about an upgrade, Brandon Ingram would be the upgrade. There's no doubt. So, yeah. So now, but yeah, Ingram's way better, though. Way better. Not even. What? Ingram ain't got those mental issues that Randall got. Why would you say that? Why would you say that, John Mark? He ain't got no mental issues. He seems to be pretty stable mentally. I mean, level-headed anyway. You know, them Duke dudes generally level-headed, generally, you know. Hey, salute Jeremy Nussbaum. Yeah, salute, brother. Yeah. So I'm not trading Brunson, and unless I'm getting a clear upgrade, I'm not trading Randall or RJ or Obi. But it goes back to what we talked about, right? So wait a minute. June 29th. Let's talk about June 29th for a second. That is this coming Thursday, right? The 30th is Friday. The 29th is Thursday, right? Now, Ian Begley, and I put the link in the description box. Hey, what's up, Wallflower? Romania man, what's up? I put the link in the description box. Teams have been calling the Knicks about Deuce McBride. Okay? Teams have been calling the Knicks about Deuce McBride. And he's of interest to a lot of NBA teams. Now, the Knicks have a $1.9 million option to pick him up this Thursday. They got this Thursday to do it. Okay, they got till this Thursday. Now, if there was a trade And if the team taking the trade would want Deuce as part of a package, Deuce wouldn't be the centerpiece of the trade, but he'd be part of a package. And if the Knicks are not going, and this is the thing, if you're not going to expand to 10 men and you're not going to get this kid some minutes, trade. That's the way I feel about it. And I'm Deuce Hive. Deuce is my favorite guy in the Knicks. Tim, Mitch, Rob, Obi, Grimes, those are my dudes. But if you're not going to play, trade. Okay. So, are you ready? Here's a poll coming. Here's a poll coming. I feel a poll coming on. Are you ready? Here comes the poll. Here comes the poll. All right, you ready? You ready? Would y'all do that? That's not so close. I think y'all. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Some people say maybe, yes, maybe. Vote. I'm gonna tell you what Obama said. Don't argue. Vote. Let me see. Well, it's actually closer than I thought it would be. I thought this would be a no-brainer. I thought everybody would say yes to this, but it looks like 57% is saying yes, 43%. That's a little slight in the favor of doing it, but I don't know. That seems to be some of y'all are not really with that as much as I thought you'd be. Okay. Because I believe that Toronto would want Deuce McBride, especially losing Fred VanVleet. They would have some real, they would at least add depth to, they wouldn't necessarily start Deuce, but they can at least add depth to their backcourt by having Deuce McBride there. So, and he would get minutes. He would get serious minutes in Toronto. So that's what I'm asking. Yeah, I hate. Oh, okay. Let me change it then. Hang on. Let me change it. All right. Let me change it. I saw. All right. There you go. Let me see if this is better. Ooh, nah. Most people saying no. Most people not into that. Wait, I think that's actually more marginal than. Yeah, that's most people not into that one. I am not into that one either. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. But yeah, most people saying no. I would agree. Nah. I'm not doing that either. I agree with that. Okay. Here's one that I'm going to predict y'all going to jump all on this one. All right, I'm going to predict you're going to jump all on this one. Ready? All right, here you go. It's not going to happen, though. This ain't going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, this ain't going to happen. This ain't going to happen. What y'all think? What y'all think? It ain't going to happen, though. The Nets ain't doing it. The Nets ain't doing it. The Nets ain't doing that. They are not doing that. If I'm the Nets, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. Say no, thank you. No, thank you. The Nets are not doing it, though. I think everybody in Knicks Nation would do it, but the Nets are not doing it. The Nets ain't doing it. You know they just turned down Anthony Simons and the number 3 pick for Mikal Bridges. They just turned that down. Do y'all know that? That's facts. They just turned down Anthony Simons and the number 3 pick for Mikal Bridges. So you got to give them a lot. Thanks, Joseph Kinlaw. That's for the $5. There's a special place for these NBA 2K addicts to go to fix their addiction. That's right. They need some help. Yeah, but Tyree, I don't think, in fact, I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure, there's that number again, that Pels are not trading Zion Williamson. I would not trade him. Not me. I'm keeping him and Brandon Ingram this season. There's no doubt. If you got to let me go through this season and see what happens. IQ and Obi for Macau. Whoo, that would be decimating your bench. Now, if you got that, so you're going to bring RJ off the bench because you dang gone sure ain't bringing Grimes off the bench. No, you not. Okay, they're not trading Ingram or Zion. They're not doing it. So I hope not, Winston. I hope not. I was just talking about that. I don't think so. I think they try to. There's a simple suggestion, and that is reduce Randall's minutes by 12 and reduce RJ's minutes by 12 and give those minutes to Obi. That's all I'm saying. You can get Obi 24 minutes a game. Reduce them other players' minutes by 12. You still giving them 36 minutes. And you still can play Obi 24. That's on Tibbs right now. Tibbs has got to do that if you want to keep Obi. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping there's a conversation between Tibbs and Leon and the crew about Obi Toppin. Stop it, Obi getting traded. You're using that word stop it too quickly, Almighty Finesse. And we know the formula. Almighty Finesse plus whatever Almighty Finesse says plus opposite equals good for the Knicks. So I guess we know what's good for the Knicks. Almighty Finesse plus opposite. That's the mathematical formula. Almighty Finesse plus opposite is good for the Knicks. Yeah, I think the clutch CAA beef is real when it comes to Zach LaVine. I got to say, I mean, Zach LaVine said it, didn't he? Zach LaVine said it, didn't he? Zach LaVine said, I'm not dealing with Knicks management. That's what has been reported by Shams and Ian Begley. Zach LaVine not dealing with Knicks management. It's a CAA Rich Paul thing. You know what I didn't know until this weekend, though? I didn't know Rich Paul used to be CAA. I didn't know Rich Paul was CAA and just started clutch by leaving CAA. I didn't know that. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, Almighty Finesse, but I would. I would trade RJ for Trey Murphy III. I would definitely trade RJ for Trey Murphy III. I would definitely do it. I wouldn't even think twice. I would do it. He has asked, would I let's do a poll. I would do that. I would definitely do that. I would definitely do that. There's no doubt. We don't even need to think twice. I would do that. No doubt, no doubt. I like Trey Murphy III better even than Grimes. And you know I love Grimes. Trey Murphy was the guy I wanted that year, man. I thought I discovered something, but everybody else knew about it too. No, I would do it. I would definitely do it. And I like RJ. I'm just saying. T. Murphy III is balling, man. That boy could ball. I'm telling y'all. I would do it. I would do it. Paul Monte Sunday, thanks. I would do it though. I ain't fronting. I would do that. But again, that'd be something else though. But the money wouldn't work because Trey Murphy III is on a rookie deal. They need to send back some money. New Orleans, we need to send back some money. And Trey Murphy is only on like a $4 million deal, and RJ's on a $25 million deal. So they need to send back some money. We need some expiring money to come back with that. So I don't know. No, I wouldn't trade RJ for McDaniels. I like McDaniels, but I wouldn't trade RJ for him, no. But Trey Murphy III is ready for the big time. I'm telling you. The boy is only just finishing his second year. He's ready for the big time. I liked him coming out of Virginia, and I like him even more now. I like him even more now, man. I really like Trey Murphy III. He's got the length, and he's playing defense. Him and Herb Jones are lockdown defenders, and he can hit the open stand-up three. I'm done. Zion and Mitchell Warners, yeah, that's true, Kinlaw, but Mitchell might not be the same Mitchell in 2 years. People don't look at that. But he may not be the same guy in 2 years. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, I love that guy's game. Trey Murphy the third. He's got IQ. He's got defense. He's got length. Herb Jones is the better defender. Herb Jones is an all NBA level defender. Yes, he made his name in the league by being the top defender. Like Deuce is making his name being the top defender. That's Herb Jones. His offense is starting to come around now, but he made his name as a defender. Herb Jones is a lockdown defender. But I'm saying I wasn't expecting Trey Murphy III to be that good on defense at this stage of his career. In another 2 years, yeah. But now this guy's Grimes level right now. Can you imagine Grimes and him on the wing? That's lockdown defense, baby. Right there, lockdown defense. The only reason that I had a thought about PG-13, honestly, is because I believe Julius would respect enough to not try to tell PG-13 what to do. He wouldn't be jumping in PG-13's face. PG-13 would have more panache on the Knicks than Julius would. And that's the only reason I thought about that. But T-Money, stop. Thunderbird is a dangerous alcohol. And Wild Irish Rose, I know that it looks pretty with the rose and the color is red, but T-Money, don't drink that stuff, man. It causes you delusions. Who Murray? Murray who? Juju? Oh, Murphy? You mean Murphy is clutch? Murphy is Clutch Sports? Is he? Is Murphy clutch? I hope he's wrong about that. Yeah, be careful with this because it looks pretty in the bottle. You see what happens when you drink? You start coming up with some stupidness, but that's all right. You just move on. Please don't use them opioids. I am not trading Mitchell Robinson unless I get equal value back. Trading Mitchell Robinson for DeAndre Ayton, okay? So you got a Lexus, okay? You got a nice Lexus. It's 3 years old. It runs like a top. So somebody said, listen, I will trade you your 3-year-old Lexus with 50,000 miles on it. And here, take my 560 SEL Benz with 200,000 miles on it. Would you do that move? Take my 200,000 mile Benz and give me your 3-year-old Lexus RX 350. Would you do that? That's what y'all sound like when you talk about taking Ayton and trading Mitchell Robinson. You're talking about less value. You're paying 3 times the money for a player that's less valuable. Think about that. Stop playing NBA 2K and look at the value. You're getting less value. There's less value in Ayton than there is in Mitchell Robinson. Okay? So you all don't understand what you're talking about. Anybody that brings up Ayton, you don't know what you're talking about. Mitchell is costing you $60 million. Top 3 NBA rebounder, offensive rebounder in the league. Okay? And plays defense. Versus Ayton, who shows up sometimes for $180 million. Are you crazy? Oh, my God, man. I don't know what would even possess you to think that that's something we would even need to entertain. I don't understand it. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't understand. It's a fraction of the maintenance and a third of the cost. Why would you even entertain that? I don't understand. Why is that even in your mind? Why would you even think that? What, you got Ayton on your wall? What, you Ayton Hive or something? I don't understand. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You're not getting value. Understand what that means, value. No, ain't no need to leave the NBA. Don't get carried away. Some of y'all get carried away, man. What them drugs do to you? Ayton's a good basketball player, but I'm not trading the value of Mitchell Robinson for a guy that costs 3 times as much and is not as marginally. I don't even give him that. He's not. I wouldn't even say he's marginally better than Mitch Robinson. He's not even that. And so you just asking to trade a whole bunch of money for a West Indian dude that is worth half what your guy is. Yeah, stop freaking that Thunderbird, man. I don't know more than NBA GMs. T-Money. Let me ask you a question since you know so much. Did the Knicks trade Ayton for Ayton? Are the Knicks talking to the representative about trading Ayton? Since they're not, then you don't know what you're talking about because ain't nobody trying to trade for that for. NBA GMs, get the hell out of here. Anyway, and the reason it's not happening is what I just told you. Listen and learn. You're not trading something of lesser value. Oh my gosh, man. I don't understand. Why would anybody think that? They can't, they're going to keep him. They ain't got no choice. Ain't nobody paying that. Oh my gosh, man. If I wouldn't even trade Turner for him. Look, if Turner was all that, they wouldn't be in the lottery. If Turner was all that, they wouldn't be in the lottery. Turner had one good game against Mitch Robinson. He dropped career-high threes, and everybody think they want Turner. Turner ain't better than Mitchell Robinson. And ever since then, Mitchell Robinson's been out for revenge and been eating that boy for lunch. Ever since that game. So, no, I don't want no Miles Turner. He could back up Mitch. He could be a backup. Well, DRose Gellman, let me ask you a question. DRose, you ready? DRose, are you trading Isaiah Hartenstein for Naz Reid? That's the question you really need to ask. For you to say, can Naz Reid back up Mitch, really what you're asking, are you trading Isaiah Hartenstein for Naz Reid? Is Naz Reid better than Isaiah Hartenstein? That's the question you need to ask. And I would say it's marginal. So why would I do it? It's marginal. That's a margin. They're about the same age. You got expiring deal on Isaiah Hartenstein. Why are you messing with Naz Reid? And this is the thing. Somebody said, I don't see Naz Reid's highlights. Wow. I'm like, so I can put together highlights of him dunking everywhere and you think he's better than everybody? Come on, man. Come on, man. You want to go ahead and go back and look at the game, the full game Knicks against Minnesota this past season where Naz Reid got taken to school. That's what you want to look at. He got taken to school. Shoot. No, he's not better than Isaiah Hartenstein. And if marginal at best, marginal. It's not like he's head and shoulders. Look, we're talking about a dude on a minimum contract. If he was all that, teams be breaking their neck to get him. What you think he is, the Joker or something? What's wrong with some of y'all? Oh my gosh, man. This dude's a bench piece. We already got one. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, he's a nice, what, he gave you charity? What, he gave you a nice tip he gave you a nice tip or something? You say he's nice. Nice at what? I'll tell you what. He ain't nice about guarding Julius Randle. I'll tell you what. He ain't nice about that. Shoot. He wake up in the middle of the night and his wife said, what's wrong? What's wrong? I thought I saw Julius. Naz Reid be in his house in Minnesota sleeping. His woman said, baby, what's wrong? I had a dream about Julius Randle. Don't worry, it's over. It's over. It's over. Julius wants to see that brother 82 times. Julius wants to see that brother 82 times. Shoot. Naz Reid. So what drunken fool on one of these Twitter platforms told y'all Naz Reid was all that y'all tripping? And what drunken fool put together some dunk highlights of Naz Reid for y'all to think he's all that? Stop it. Come on, man. Naz Reid is a bench piece. We already got one. His name is Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, if we were going to go get, as part of a package, Joel Embiid and included in that package was Isaiah Hartenstein? Okay. Yeah, you can believe that if you want to, John Mark. I'm going to tell you what, whether he's better than Hartenstein or not, What I will say is at best, he's marginally better. And that's not enough for me to trade a guy that was part of my 47-win team. Why don't y'all? Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Nas Reed, first team All-American. Oh my gosh, man. I hope he gets better. But I'm not trading nobody on my team for him. Sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm not rolling no dice for Nas Reed. Look, the Knicks bench suffered when they got Josh Hart because they weren't used to playing together. It broke up, deuce out the thing. But when they get used to each other, we don't need nobody for the bench. We got everybody we need right now. Obi, Hartenstein, IQ, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride. We got everybody we need. We don't need nothing else for the Knicks bench. We good. The only reason we're talking about possible changes is because the Knicks are talking about thinking about trading RJ. That's what I'm telling y'all. And Obi wants more minutes. That's the only reason the Knicks are talking about any changes. Let's not get it twisted, y'all. The only reason Knicks are talking about any changes is because they're thinking about trading RJ Barrett to upgrade to like a Levine, or they're thinking about PG-13, or they want to send Obi somewhere where he can get minutes. That's it. And that's why I'm saying they're having a conversation. Did you hear? I got it in the description box. Did you hear Ian Begley's comment on this? He said either they're going to figure out a way to get Obi minutes, or they will do Obi a solid because he's tight with them and get him on a team where he could start. And there's at least 5 to 7 teams Obi could start for today. So that's what they're doing. So that means that they must, but that being the case, who cares what Ian Begley says? Okay, who cares what you say, Finesse? I think at least Ian Begley gets paid for what he say. You just get headaches. Anyway, Ace of Spade, $2. Did Cam's issue gaslight CAA? You know what? I can't deny that could be a case, Ace of Spade. I can't deny that would be a case. You can't. It could be. I don't know. It could be. Okay. No, we can't. We can't do better, T-Money. Right now, we got a team. We got a 47-win team that's poised to be 50 wins this season. Same crew. Okay. Same crew. So right now, there needs to be a conversation with Tom about Obi. And Tom, are you going to get Obi more minutes? Well, how am I going to do it? Can you get Obi 20, 24 minutes a game, Tom? Okay, we'll figure it out. Then Obi stays. That's it. It's very simple, y'all. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. Are you trying to get my goat up? Reed greater than Obi. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to ignore that. That is like, dag, man. What time is it? 1:25 and you're using this ball hour? You're drinking Wild Irish Rose this early, PSA? Here's a public service now. Please stop drinking that strong alcohol. I know it's, but don't you got to go to work tomorrow? Thunderbird ain't good for you to get drunk on right now, man. It's just not. You don't want to mess with that, okay? You don't want to mess with that. Nas Reed, man. I got your Nas Reed right here. Shoot, Nas Reed. Get out of here. You're crazy, man. Some of y'all just really off the chain crazy. You mentioned it a player enough and y'all just suckered enough. You know what? Y'all should have worked for Isaiah Thomas or Glenn Gunwald. Y'all should have worked for Phil Jackson. Y'all should have worked for some of them, man, because some of y'all off the freaking chain, out of your mind, man. Some of y'all really are. Oh my gosh, man. Are you crazy? You don't break up a team because you just watched highlights of Nas Reed. You don't break up a team because you just watched highlights of Nas Reed. You don't do that. Leon Rose is not going to step down, Winston, so we really don't need to even discuss that. He's not stepping down. Why would he? He's doing a fantastic job. There's no need for him to step down or even think about stepping down. So it's an irrelevant question. I just don't like hypotheticals that come to no good, you know? Like, I got very limited time left on this planet. I don't have time to talk about fantasy. And so Leon ain't stepping down, and he better not, because he's doing good with him. Right. So again, Almighty Finesse comes through again. He said Leon Rose is clueless. Okay, genius. Gotcha. Okay, genius. Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So y'all call him Nas. I say, nah. Nah, Reed. Nah. We good. Honestly, Nas Reed reminds me of the early stages of Bobby Portis, of the country boy, Bobby Portis. He reminds me of the early stages of Bobby Portis. Not saying he can't develop and be something. He can. He got talent. I'm not dying, but I'm not trading nobody on my team for him right now. The Knicks don't need no Nas Reed right now. We need to stay where we at and hopefully get some minutes for Obi, expand his minutes, okay, and then move out to 10 men. And I think we'd be good. I think really at the end of the day, they should just run it back. Let me ask that question. Next poll question. Here's a poll question. All this, the Knicks need this and the Knicks need that. The Knicks don't need jack. They just need to make adjustments and get some of their really players that they done did so well developing and drafting. They just need to get the moments. That's it. That really is it. They don't need to go get this guy. They don't need to go get that guy. They don't need to do nothing. They just need some slight changes. They need to expand to a 10-man rotation, and they need to reduce RJ's and Julius's minutes a little bit so that Obi can get some time. I think that's all they really need to do. That's all they really need to do. That's it. Okay. If they do that, we're 55 wins this year. 55 wins. That's all I'm saying. So I'm hoping they really just run it back. Next year, Abraham, I think it depends. It's impossible to know. Let's ask you this, Andrew, do I think the Knicks will trade Randall next summer? Well, let me ask you this. Suppose he's all NBA again this year, and this year they go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Are you trading him next year? You hear what I'm saying? So, Andrew, that's a question for you. So if Randall is all NBA again this year, and they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, are you trading him next summer? That's my question. Because it's possible that happens. It's possible. He's been all NBA 2 out of the last 3 years. So if he's all NBA again this year and they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, are you trading him? Are you trading him? I don't know I'm not going to guarantee it happens or don't happen. That's not my question. My question is, answer the question. If Randall is all NBA this year and they go to the ECF, are you trading him next summer? Andrew, no. I agree with you. They're not going to. No. Because if you think that his contract's a bargain now, his contract's going to be a steal next year, especially if he makes all NBA again. I'm not trading him. I need to get some value back. Right. If there was another all NBA player, yes. Agreed. So if you get another all NBA level player, okay, then we might do it. Okay. Like I will always entertain trading Julius for Zion Williamson as long as Williamson is still young and has that ability. I'm still going to trade Julius for him if I could. I will trade Julius for Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? I have no doubt I would do it. I would trade Julius for Paolo Banchero. I would do it. I would trade Julius for Paolo Banchero. Orlando would never do that, but I would. That's what I'm saying. I would trade Julius for certain guys that are going to give me better value and more upgrade. I would do it. Okay. No, I wouldn't do that, Almighty Finesse. He asked if I would trade Julius for Trey Murphy III, and I don't think so. Julius is more accomplished. And I would, even with all his warts, I'm keeping Julius in that scenario. Trey Murphy for RJ, where he don't have to be the man, he could be a third option. Ooh, yeah, man, I'm doing that. Yeah, but Felicia Lee, she makes a good point. Suppose it wasn't Julius that was the main guy responsible for getting us to the ECF, but he was all NBA. I still wouldn't trade him. You know why? Because I don't want to mess with my chemistry, right? One of the things that makes a team perennially good is their chemistry is perennially good. They have the same chemistry. They don't mess with what works. They keep the continuity going. So even if Julius, like she said, maybe he wasn't the reason. Like, I wouldn't say, I think in all fairness, right? I'm going to get ready to say something. Tell me if y'all agree. Julius wasn't the reason we went to the second round this year. He wasn't. I think can we agree with that? Julius Randle wasn't the reason the Knicks went to the second round. It wasn't on him. It wasn't because he carried us into the second round. It wasn't because he was so overwhelming against Cleveland. I would argue that Mitchell Robinson was more overwhelming against Cleveland than Julius Randle, which I would say Mitchell Robinson was more overwhelming against Cleveland than Julius Randle was. Okay. I would say RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson were more of a factor in the Miami series than Julius Randle was. Okay. I wouldn't tell you that if it wasn't for Julius Randle, we wouldn't went to the second round. That is not true. That is not true. See, so really the answer, Ms. Edwards, I think it was Ms. Edwards said that her question is like, okay, so, and we're talking about trading him, but if we went further next season, if we went past the second round into the Eastern Conference Finals, even if it wasn't like a strong Julius thing, which is entirely possible, especially if Obi gets more minutes, then, we might trade him, but I don't know, because I want the continuity. Okay, I want the continuity. Yes, Rich M. I'm not. No. Mitch was the beast. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say Julius Randle was the factor in us in the playoffs. I would say he was not a factor beating Cleveland nor in the Miami series. I don't say he wasn't, because RJ, Mitchell Robinson, and of course Brunson, they were the big factors in that Cleveland series. Okay, they were the big factors, and so. That kind of goes to Margaret Edwards' point. Like, are we going to trade him next year, even if he's not a factor? That's a good question. I think we'd have to see how he plays in the playoffs. Don't you think, Margaret? I think we'd have to see how he plays in the playoffs. How is he playing in the playoffs? But so we have to see what happens, because he wasn't a factor in the playoffs. He wasn't the guy that he did not carry the Knicks like he did during the season in the playoffs. He's a season workhorse, but he ain't no workhorse in the playoffs. I would not say that. Yeah, I couldn't say that. Okay. Randle did not defend very well in either series, man. His ankle was hurt, and we were giving him that excuse. He couldn't guard a shadow. He couldn't guard nothing in the playoffs. But yeah, he wasn't the last 3 years. For the last 2 years, I agree with you, MBIC. He wasn't. Yeah. So anyway, I got to go to my man's party. It was real nice hanging out with y'all. What's this final poll say? What did it say here? So 62%, very strong number says run it back. And I agree. Very strong number says run it back. I have to agree with that. Okay. So the Knicks, I think they should run it back. Just make adjustments. Get Deuce into that 10-man rotation. Expand Obi's minutes to 24. And I think we'd be good. I really think we'd be good. Everybody be happy, and I think we'd be good. Get IQ to take this $80 million you're going to throw at him. and we'll be good. Okay. Thank you, Almighty Finesse, for the entertainment. But I would caution you, please stop using that strong alcohol. Wild Irish Rose is good on the street. People like it because it's cheap, but I mean, it'll mess you up. Believe me, I have used it before. I drank Wild Irish Rose and I'm drinking Thunderbird, and it wasn't a good experience. And so I'm saying, don't, leave that stuff alone, bro. It's good for you. AA is available. Yeah, AA is available. So we'll see what happens. Winston say he's not going to take 80 million. He may not. I ain't going to guarantee what he's going to take. He may not. We'll see what happens. Shalom, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going over to Imani Prakash house. Shalom.